Hey guys, thanks for joining us back here at the hub. So, well, a good result for Man United, and in particular, Erik Ten Hag. He's really pretty much bought himself some time because if there was a poor result here against Brentford, I think things might have hit the fan, as they say. But seems to be surviving now because it was a decent performance, not spectacular, but pretty good, and we'll talk about it here. So stay tuned. Here's my first half takeaways. Took a little while for the team to settle down. I think we saw little glimpses of some of the patterns of play we've seen before in terms of giving up possession easily, turning the ball over. But they did eventually settle down, and the first half was pretty much an even contest. One of the troubling things was that Brentford kind of cut through the United midfield into the final third, and that was a little bit concerning. And they did create a couple good chances. In fact, Onana had to pull off a good save, and um, but it was an even contest really going into the break. Unfortunately, there was a sloppy error by Dalot because he basically lost his man, and um, Pinnock had gotten away from him, and obviously it was a factor that the lid was off the pitch. And obviously, people are going to debate that, and according to the press conference that Ten Hag did, it was dry blood and everything seemed to be okay, and he couldn't understand it. But I would think you have to give the referee benefit of the doubt because they kind of basically just following the rules. But it was an unfortunate time to give up the goal to go into the break 1-0 down. But one of the positives obviously was Garnacho being at its best, doing what Garnacho does. And that was something good to see. And in my opinion, I've said it before, and you'll see that I think the difference between Garnacho and Amad Diallo is that Garnacho has an instinct to score, to try and score. He doesn't back down. He doesn't shy away from taking the opportunity, whereas Diallo seems to be a little less inclined to do so. And if it were my choice, Garnacho should be starting. And of course, everybody will talk about, well, based on which side Rashford wants to play and is better, that creates a problem. But as we saw yesterday, it seemed to work out in a positive way. So we'll see going forward what Ten Hag decides to do in terms of splitting the minutes between Diallo and Garnacho. And I'm sure he'll have to rest one or the other from time to time. But Garnacho, I would think that for the critical and important games, Garnacho is the guy you want to go with. As far as the second half, well, you know, the words of a former president, current candidate, fight, fight, fight. And that was good to see. A little bit of fight coming out from the team. So there was an immediate response, and that was good. They were all out in attack, the intensity, the intent going forward, a lot of energy, a lot of tempo, and they really were dominant in that second half. And put together, in terms of the offensive part of it, put together a decent defensive performance. Delet, the others did pretty good. Even Delo, although he had made that mistake at the end of the first half, he did pretty good in terms of overall game. Um, Evans, I mean, what can you say about the guy? He's a real trooper to be playing and being needed at that time, at this time, with terms of his age, but he has so much experience. He's not quick, neither is Delit, but and it looked like Brentford sort of was a little less, you know, enthusiastic. I don't know what word, but they kind of came out a little bit flat after the break, which was surprising because it seems that they could have tried to go for it. But overall, we had a solid defensive performance. Even Casemiro after the low point a few weeks ago. He had a good game, very solid, and arguably the second half was United's best 45 minutes for the season, I would think. They just responded fantastic. I mean, that was good to see because, our mindset is that if United goes down one or two, even one, there's no coming back because we just haven't seen that sort of intensity, that sort of, that attacking mentality. We got to get the job done, sort of thing, do or die. So it was good to see that, and whatever Ten Hag and probably Van Nistelrooy had to say, it did the job. So I was happy to see that. And what a strike by Garnacho for that immediate response, and a great, great cross from Rashford. You have to give him kudos for that because that basically, he set up the goal, but it was a great, great volley strike, and good to see him, Garnacho, getting back to his best in terms of his performances last season. So all in all, that was pretty good to see that immediate response and a good 45 minutes in the second half, and it was dominant performance in that second 45. An exquisite chip over the keeper for the second goal by Højlund. A striker's goal. Good to see him scoring after he had a little setback with his injury. Let's just hope that he continues to score, that he avoids any kind of injury issues, because we do need that upfront striker. We need somebody to put the ball in the back of the net, simply put. A word on Rashford. Didn't score, but he had the assist on Garnacho's goal. Very much involved in the attack going forward. Very active, very proactive, very high intensity, high energy, and it's good to see him. It seems that his confidence is coming back, and I won't be surprised if in the next few weeks and months he will be scoring some goals too. I mean, obviously, it's difficult to match the standards that he set a couple of years ago, but we need him to be active in terms of scoring goals, add to the attack, and it's good to see the front three very much involved in making things happen, creating chances, and putting the ball in the back of the net. A good result for the team, a good result for Erik Ten Hag in particular. Seems to have bought him some time. He's got himself a little reprieve, but it doesn't get any easier. Every game pretty much in the Premier League is going to be competitive and tough, and no result is guaranteed. And the difference between United, where they are, and the top teams like City, Liverpool, Arsenal, is that those teams, maybe they go down a goal or two, but you can bet, put your money on a comeback. We just got one good comeback, but it hasn't been that way for a long time where that happens consistently. So let's see going forward if they can put a win streak together, and if Ten Hag will stay on the job. That's kind of the bottom line. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned, of course, because we'll keep you updated with all the latest news and information, including what transfer news may be happening in terms of the January window coming up. So thanks again, and stay tuned, and look forward to having you next time.